All right, so I'm going to show you how to make a fire with Flint and Steel. This is my Flint and Steel kit. I have a couple other videos demonstrating, but just to go through it again, I keep my char cloth in a little plastic baggie just to keep moisture from getting on it. I have 2 flint rocks, and then I have a high carbon steel striker, all in this little Altoids tin that I punched a hole in so I can make more char cloth once I get a fire going. So we'll start this up. To show you kind of what I've done so far, I gathered some dry grass and some pine needles that are also, pretty bone dry. And then I've also started on the, putting the teepee together with some twigs and some birch, so that way when I, get a spark going and I put it in a little bird's nest and I put that in there, everything will be ready to go. It's not the prettiest teepee, but it'll do the job just fine. So to start, you get your dry grass and you want to kind of rub this between your hands like this just to break up some of the fibers, so that way the spark and the char cloth has a better chance of lighting. And then you want to try to bend it around to a little bird's nest, keeping it at the same time, aerated like that, so that way you can just blow straight into it and place it in the fire. It's a nice little handle. And then I'm going to take some of the pine needles and rub those between my hands to also break them up. And I'm going to put just a little bit of this right in the middle of the nest. Again, leaving a little bit of air in there as possible. So now I'm going to take my kit. I'm going to take out a piece of char cloth. What I used for my char cloth was actually a dish towel, and I found that that gives you nice chunky pieces of char cloth that burn a little bit longer than your regular cotton t-shirt. So I took 2 pieces just because they're thin, bend them over themselves, take your flint, and you want to find a sharp edge. I'm going to use that edge right there, and you place this right on top of it like that, a little bit of space, and you want to put this in your non-dominant hand because your striker is going to be in your dominant hand striking it. And you want it on top because when you come down with the striker, it actually shaves a thin layer of the metal, the steel, off, and those sparks kick up and drop onto the char cloth itself. And you want to, when you're striking it, just hold your striker like that. There's a couple different strikers out there on the market, but this one's, I think, just like an old traditional, like Norwegian one. I'm not sure. You'll have to fact check me on that. And you don't want to go straight down with it, and you don't want to come straight towards it. You want to come in a sweeping motion at the flint. So let's see if we can get this going. Got it. It only takes a couple of times where you get it good to go. Place that right in there. And just blow steadily. There we go. I'm just going to place that right in the fire. And I'm going to put some more of these little just pine needles on top so it kind of catches through all of what I had on hand. And then I have a little extra birch. And I'm going to take that and just kind of toss it on top of there too. My little brother calls this nature's gasoline because it just lights up incredibly fast and has a really hot burn. And this is great to use just to get the fire initially started. There we go, just kind of aerate it a little bit. Put that right in the middle. Feed it with some more twigs. They don't all get, twisted together. We can get them all in there. Then I'll take some bigger sticks now, kind of place them on the outside for some structure, and to inevitably get it, having a better burn. All right, and there we go. That's how you start a fire with Flint and Steel.